Hello and welcome everyone, I am Madals and welcome to another StarCraft cast. Today we have got a ladder game and let me introduce the two players right off the bat. In the lower left position we do have the red Terran, it is ClouD, and his opponent in the top right, the blue Zerg, it is TvZ. So ZVT, it should be fun. Map is Cloud Kingdom. What can we expect from these two? 15 hatch, 16 pool out of the Zerg. Either a command center first or one Rex command center out of ClouD most likely. And the reason we can be pretty sure they're happening is because it is the standard meta game. And there isn't too much else you can do unless ClouD was going to go for something pretty freaky like, say, a proxy 11-11 2 Rex. You could go for on this map, it's viable because you can stick them down here or somewhere and then just be like, hey, guess what? You've got units in your natural. Or else another good place you can actually stick the 2 racks is up here, because basically Zerg players will never scout this way. They'll always come down this way and therefore spot anything across here. So good plans, good ways you can do things. There's the GLHF from both of these players, and as a result hopefully they will both have good luck and have fun, because I like it when players have fun in games. Don't be too serious when you're playing, people. It makes you stressed. I never get that when people get super stressed in a game. It's usually due to the fact that when they lose, they feel like they lost to something that was illegitimate. Something like a proxy 11-11 2 racks. But my answer to you is, guess what? You should have scouted. And if you didn't scout, then yeah, you're going to die to it. So always look at a loss as just an opportunity to improve, and therefore you'll be a lot happier when you play StarCraft. Also set yourself little targets while you're playing, such as I will never miss an inject if you play Zerg, and therefore even if you get completely annihilated, you can watch that replay back and be like, do you know what? I didn't miss a single inject, so I'm a winner and I'm improving. So, command center first, coming out here from ClouD. The SCV was getting chipped away at, but luckily some friendly SCVs came along and were like, drone, no, you are not going to kill me. You are not killing our friend. Getting the barracks up now. The drone obviously getting in, but what are you really scouting here? Though, guess what? They don't have gas after they went for a command center first. But no, the gas are now coming down after the single barracks, so this is actually pretty normal in terms of play. Just going command center, racks, gas is very, very normal in what a Terran player should be doing. Meanwhile, what the Zerg player is doing, hatch, pool, gas, it's what we should be always seeing. Probably just going to get Zergling speed out relatively early. May then, and I say this very tentatively, may choose to take the drones out just once you've got speed in order to secure this third base and get a couple more drones out a bit quicker. But a lot of Zerg players just keep the drones in there in order to start getting their lair a bit sooner. So we'll wait to see what TvZ decides to do. And I don't know if this product exists in other countries, but TvZ in England is a type of clothes. I can't even think of the word for it. Clothes cleaner. I know that's not the right word, but like it's a solution stuff, and their tagline is whiter than white. It's mainly for white. So every time I think of TvZ, I think of the really cheesy TvZ adverts, which I'm pretty sure you could like search on YouTube and find them. They are absolutely appalling. But what else is appalling is this poor Overlord. All he wanted to do was come and float over. He just wanted to be friends, and this poor Marine was like, no, get out, leave. And so the Overlord did leave and did survive. But floating barracks. Poor Overlord. Overlord, no, the floating barracks is going to go back. Just like, no, actually, I will let this Overlord live. It'll be fine because I need to start my reactor. Lucky, lucky Overlord there. Meanwhile, we do have the second gas starting up here. We also have up for TvZ, now getting his Roach Warren out. Keeps the 3 drones in gas, but has not started Zergling speed. And as a result, that just means that it's very likely to be just a quick Roach rush. It's going to come over, going to come and start pushing. Will we see a Baneling Nest as well? Because if you see a Baneling Nest, then actually, then you can say, guess what? It's going to be a Roach, Baneling, 2 base all in, trying to do an awful lot of damage. And as a result, you can really then just be very defensive as ClouD and chuck down some additional bunkers. But we've got 10 roaches on the way. That is nothing to shy away from. 10 roaches, now 11, is going to be a very sizable force that could actually deal a huge amount of damage, especially with only the single bunker down. Of course, ClouD doesn't even have any map vision. He is completely unaware this is going down. If we look at what he knows that there's a base up and there's a natural up, and that is it. And then if we just switch back, roaches. Everything looks good in terms of what TvZ sees. But for ClouD, it's like, ah, I'm fine, I'm fine, I'm fine, I'm still fine. Everything's okay. Everything's still okay. Oh my goodness, there's roaches here. Run away, bunker, bunker. Bring these SCVs over. Come on, we've got to repair this up. But look at just how much damage these are doing. SCVs are getting chipped away at. More roaches are streaming across. No micro coming down on these roaches, though, pulling back the damaged ones. But still, a lot of SCVs going down here. Even though the bunker is currently surviving, just look at how many SCVs are getting killed by this. Behind it, of course, Daz just droning. He is droning up like there's no tomorrow. More SCVs. SCVs actually getting pulled from the main, trying to repair this up. More SCVs going down. One good thing to do here is just get a couple of roaches and micro them to take out the SCVs themselves. But the bunker, is it gonna hold? It looks like it will for the time being, but the SCV is being forced to pull back now. More damage being done. The Banshee is here, though. That means that eventually those roaches will all die, but the bunker does indeed now fall. The remaining Marines get taken out, but it does get cleaned up. The important thing for Daz, though, is he killed 16 SCVs. 16! That was a good push. It puts him a good 11 workers ahead. And he's also scouted out that actually Banshee are on their way over. Guess I better build my evolution chamber in order to get a spore crawler in case he's getting Cloak, which, surprise, surprise, Cloak is on its way down. ClouD, though, he's got his third command center down. He's starting his third orbital command now. Therefore, he will be able to produce those SCVs relatively quickly. He will get the mules. And Daz, due to going for that very aggressive style of getting an awful lot of roaches out quite early on, does not have a third base. That's the positive to take away from this as ClouD, that actually I am technically at least one command center up on my opponent's hatcheries. That means that my third base I could probably secure before him, and therefore I should be okay in terms of the later and mid game. But what we're seeing now is these Hellions trying to poke up, trying to prod up. Where are the Banshee? I know they're around here somewhere. There we go. Banshee are coming across. They're going to go straight for the mineral line. Unfortunately, a small crawler and a queen there are going to just be able to start doing damage. The Overseer coming as well. Clearly does not like Cloak, and it's just like, I'm going to stop that. The Hellions, meanwhile, are starting to get chipped away at by these roaches. Oh, so many Hellions are dying. Pull them back, ClouD, and pull them back he does. But not after quite a few go down. These Cloak Banshee are now going to put an end to these roaches, avenging the death of the poor Hellions earlier on. But the important thing to know, ClouD has just landed his third orbital command. Meanwhile, Daz has not even taken his. That is a very, very big advantage to a Terran player being a base up, and I really cannot emphasize enough just how much of an advantage that is. ClouD is clearly going for a mech style play as well. He's getting up those additional factories, he's getting up the +1 vehicle weapons, and as a result, he should be okay. He's going to be slightly vulnerable, especially now where he's got this third base. That is a particular vulnerability, but all while you've got the map control, you're going for just a huge number of Banshee. You should be okay, to be fair. The Zerg player isn't going to be able to move out too comfortably, especially when he's got nothing except queens and spore crawlers to deal with those Banshee. Looking here, though, the roaches are coming across. The Overlord, has the Overlord scouted out a bit of this? Has he seen anything? Not yet. I was wondering if there was an SCV over there, but no. As such, ClouD just coming back, coming to try and deal with this. Needs to see this big flood of roaches coming into the third base, but here it comes. The orbital command has now been spotted, but Daz is just going to go straight for the natural. He's going to just ignore the third base, because that would have been too easy. Instead, marching straight forward. 4 Banshee, though, can deal an awful lot of damage very quickly indeed. The Hellions just on a whole command on the ramp, trying to delay the roaches from being able to push up, but the roaches have now cleaned them all out. Half going to the natural mineral line, the other half going up towards the main base. The Banshee do need to start cleaning all of this out. Of course, a lot of SCVs are going to get taken down here, and this is the situation which ClouD did not want, where actually I'm losing quite a lot of stuff. Is going to be able to clean up all of these roaches in the near future, though. In terms of worker count, he has just re-leveled it out. It was for a brief moment of time slightly in Daz's favour. But now we're seeing some mules get taken out. Oh, that hurts. But the roaches have finally, or will finally now, be destroyed. And as a result, ClouD is doing okay. He's taken the supply lead. He's on equal worker counts. He does have his third base up when Daz's is not complete. And as a result of that, I'd say ClouD is just, and I say just very tentatively ahead. The Spire, good move in terms of going for the muta harassment, should that be what Daz is going for. Except, of course, the ClouD has kind of predicted this is going to be happening and has already built the missile turrets. And also, surprisingly, The Daz saw these missile turrets when he came in. He saw all of them. So therefore knows they're down, which makes getting those mutas out, should it be mutas that he's going for, a little bit of a, that's interesting style play. So we'll wait to see where the Daz does go for those. He does have an awful lot of gas banked up, so it certainly seems like it should be mutas. But as a result, more missile turrets coming down pretty much everywhere. A single changeling coming in through there. We do have some good damage being done in terms of just trying to scout it out, but it's not actually damage being done. I don't know why I said that. Good preparation being done in order to account for any damage that could be coming in. This spire now complete, but really not doing anything. Not a single mutalisk has been started, no hive anytime soon, and as a result, that spire is a bit of wasted resources, I can't help to feel. Zergling speed now getting started at the legitimately standard 14-minute 50 mark, because that's when all the pros get down Zergling speed, because why do you need it any earlier if you're going for mass roaches? The other thing which is important to note is ClouD apparently bought the Collector's Edition, because look at these Thors. Don't these Thors just look so godly? They are amazing looking. You don't see those enough. But Daz, he is now in the sort of situation where, actually, I know I'm behind. I'm going to take my 4th base. My opponent has got more workers than me. He's got more base. He's got equal bases as me. He's got the same number of, got more mules than I can ever get out. And as a result, I need to do some good damage. Getting out those corruptors now. The corruptors are going to be effective against the Banshee, and that is it. There's nothing else really taking up much of the air army, and to be honest, ClouD, he's only got those 4 Banshee out. He's now transitioning into more Siege Tank Thor style play. The Hellion's still coming, Blue Flame on its way out. We do have the 2-2 upgrades. That's compared to the 1-1, near 2-2 complete for Daz at the moment though. But the tank count looking pretty high at 5 already. ClouD is going to come and knock out this 4th base, and Daz is about 20 supply behind. So that is tough in itself. This 4th base does complete, so it can't even get cancelled. And Daz's army is on the wrong side of the map for the time being. ClouD will be able to take this base very easily. He's got a good siege up position, and as such can just start going forward. Those Banshee do get fungal growth, so therefore will be able to get taken out by the Corruptors. But still, ClouD moving forward, more units coming across, needs to get a good siege up position. A good fungal growth hits nearly all of those Hellions, and as a result, that will mean they fall very fast indeed. The roaches streaming across, some infested Terrans coming down. The tanks doing a good amount of damage from the back though. Can Daz clean out the tanks? It looks like he will just be able to. It'll be pretty close though, and actually he may not be able to now the reinforcements are coming in. That was an incredibly close fight. 1 tank surviving. The Banshee's really helping doing some extra damage, but now we see the problem. This 3rd base is looking to be in a big load of trouble. We've got the Hellions pushing in, the tanks are there, and with more reinforcements coming across the map, it's getting a little bit more difficult. No siege up, with the fact that the Banshees have been cleaned out and more reinforcing roaches come in. We do see that Daz is able to stop the tanks for the time being. Going to lose a couple of drones though. And as we can see for ClouD rather, he's getting up his 4th and 5th command center. He is in a solid spot, and as a result, Daz has got to go for some aggression. He's got to go for a counter push now, even if it doesn't seem like the smartest move because you're 10 workers behind and you've lost the base and you're on equal bases at the very best. You've got to try and do something. You've got to try and pick away, or at least go and have a look, because actually Daz's army is very small. ClouD's army is very small right now because he lost everything with that aggression. But for the moment, Daz instead choosing to get his greatest fire up, going to go towards Broodlords. These roaches now coming in, a couple more reinforcements here. This 3rd base really only has Thors defending it. The first tank, or the first new tank, only just hitting. And as a result, oh no, there are some more tanks hidden back there, what am I talking about? But this now just means that these roaches can start trying to chip away. They need to be careful. The Thors have to be very cautious as well, but with those additional tanks now joining in, 5 tanks will be able to deal with these roaches well, especially in that very defensive position. A cancelled force though on that command center, so that's better than nothing, but there's still 2 more on the way, 3 more now on the way, and as a result I would say ClouD is definitely ahead in this match for the time being. The 4th base getting rebuilt, the Greatest Spire is now finished, but just not really enough money to support that for the long term. 7 Broodlords are coming out now, but as we can see, Daz, his gas income is pretty low. He's not mining out of these 2 gas just due to the amount of harassment coming in. So effectively, even on his best day, he's going to only be on 6 gas, which you can just manage hive tech with that, but you're not going to get up a huge force, and that's really shown by the fact that he's gone for Broodlords, but he has no Infestors with that. He just cannot afford Broodlord Infestor off of 3 bases. You need the 4th up, really, to get a good endgame army. But ClouD, he is now taking this top left base. He is going to be expanding every which way he can. These additional orbital commands are finishing up as well. So many mules are going to be available. He's sitting there with a comfortable 20+ supply lead, and is now just starting to take the map, take control. A speedling run by is going to come down to the 3rd base, and there's nothing being left to defend it. This is actually going to be able to do an awful lot of damage. The SCVs getting pulled as fast as possible, but just look at how many are going to go down here. The 3rd base is going to be forced to lift as well. But all in all, these speedlings have done a good little job there. Meanwhile, the Broodlord's pushing up towards the top. There is not many Vikings on the field, only 4. There's 4 Vikings up against 5 Corruptors. That is good news for Daz. He's also bringing the Queens ready to transfuse on those Broodlords. So this is always going to be a good engagement for Daz as long as he can deal with those Vikings. He's got to get the Broodlords into a nice spot though. That is the important thing. With these two players just eyeing each other up, both on 4 bases, so that just means that it still favours ClouD, who's nearly maxed out. He's getting more Vikings onto the field, and Daz, he's got to be careful. There goes down the scan. Will ClouD move back, or will he go for it? Well, he's moving forward. He's trying to get some volleys off. The Corruptors coming in, though, are going to get some good damage, but the Thors are cleaning up those Corruptors. So many Thors out right now. The anti-air damage, absolutely huge. The couple of roaches going straight for the planetary. The repair is going down as soon as it can. The Vikings are chipping away at everything. The Thors are chipping away at all those air units, but unfortunately there just seems to be a few too many Broodlords at the moment. But ClouD, he is able to keep it up, bringing over some mules to start repairing as well. The Vikings have all been taken out, but there's just so many Thors. The Broodlord's slowly dying, and with these Broodlords going down, Daz is getting into a really uncomfortable position. We do see that a couple of Corruptors do remain, but the final Broodlord now dead. The Zergling run-by to the 3rd is doing some nice damage, but it's got to do quite a lot, and I don't think it's done quite the amount that Daz needs, especially considering ClouD still has his 4th base up. The 4th base for Daz is now besieged. There are a whole host of roaches coming out, but with so many tanks, with so many Thors, I don't actually believe Daz will be able to get enough roaches out in time. But my goodness, is he going to try for it? The scan going off, just getting a look. What is there? Are there any Broodlords I need to worry about? The siege mode is deployed, and as such, these tanks are going to be able to deal a lot of damage. Meanwhile, ClouD, he's taken his 5th base to the 3, soon to be 2 of Daz, and as such, Daz is going to go for what appears to be just a run round. He's going to go and try and counter-attack, but it's never going to work. ClouD now pulling back. Really, Daz is probably out of this game now. There's not much you can do in this situation. He spent a lot of his money trying to get all those roaches out as an emergency hold. But going in towards the 3rd base, going to try and deal some more damage. The tanks in a nice position there, though, are going to start just shooting away, shelling away at all of those roaches. The Hellions are trying to block the roaches from getting through. It's buying ClouD some time, but Daz is still going to get quite a few worker kills now before this mech army comes back. Mech being very immobile for anyone who doesn't know. But now, with these tanks coming back in, we should see ClouD being able to hold it, and as a result, Daz is forced to GG out. But that was some solid play. That was some fun games, and I like fun games. They always excite me. So, if they excited you, make sure you like the video, leave a cool comment, and of course subscribe. And hopefully I'll see each and every one of you tomorrow for yet another new cast. Thank you very much for watching, and bye for now.